What's going on, everybody? This is BMT coming in at you again. If you hear that song in the background, that is the OJ story by Jay-Z. My lips are black, my teeth are black, my skin is black. Still just a nigga. I believe that song is fitting because some people will only see themselves as a nigga. And we need to sit down and dissect the mindset of this type of specimen and why he thinks what he does. So I grabbed one of the greatest Decepticons I could, the Megatron of Coons, the destroyer of the community, the Let It Burn commission. A good friend of mine's, SKC, also known as the coon that laughs back when you stare in the void. It's good to have him here with me today because we're going to talk about something that I believe that we need to break down. If you also want to find SKC, you can also find the brother also on Black Avenger. You can find his content right over there. Supreme King Coon. He makes amazing content that I believe that you enjoy. I'm already subscribed to him. See, watch this. See, I already subscribed. I can't subscribe to him anymore. But if I could, I would subscribe 5 billion more times. But the thing about it is, we need to discuss on this pre-recorded feature the mindset of the nigga. We did a show with the Prophet of Thought. Shout out to the Prophet of Thought. We did a show with him on morality and subjective. Something that I believe that as black men we need to have. There's the Prophet of Thought, the TPOT, Hour of Power, which goes on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You can catch it around 9:30. And this is a great topic where he brings on amazing cast of different people. And we discuss things and talk. And we talked about morality and subjectiveness with Supreme King Coon, Game Changer, Mr. Fantastic, myself, Dr. Phoenix, King Sigma, AJ Red, I believe he was on there too. Reed. So you guys, I hope y'all enjoy it. And I'm going to pass it over to my co-host for today, Supreme King Coon. Take it away, brother.
Man, what's going on, BMT? Man,
Not too much, brother.
I guess, man, this is crazy. I've never done a co-host or anything, you know. But
I'm trying to definitely do stuff for us, bro. I want to do stuff for us, brother.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm a Ricky, man. So, but yeah, the whole context of this morality and it being subjective. To me, I think that is a huge component of Black culture right now.
Yes, sir.
Individuals, we use the word accountability a lot. It's thrown a lot around a lot. Some people say, oh, you can't hold people accountable to this. And other people say that you should hold people accountable to, you know, whatever specific thing they have at hand. However, I think the underlining cause of that is just a rejection of law, a rejection of standards. Obsidian once stated that you have this war between two classes of individuals in Black America, kind of basing that off of what Chris Rock stated in his comedy special years ago. But the reality is that on one side, which Game Changer calls the nigga side, You have individuals that they really believe that the systems set up in America by the greater society are illegitimate and that they have no right or foundation to place that upon um, others, particularly Black Americans. And that if you go by those standards, that you are a sellout, a coon, you are an integrationalist, and it shows that you are somehow weak. Nevertheless, I find that when they reject these social norms, social standards, for whatever reason, they fail to replace them with anything substantial or anything that is in writing, anything that um, Black Americans can actually go by other than what they feel in their own minds and hearts. And I think that that's dangerous because it creates this huge vacuum of good, of morality, of what good and bad is. Just like last night when we were talking to that gentleman, and he didn't believe that raising his daughter in a two-parent family, that there was nothing wrong with that. There's no problem with raising your child in a one-parent family, as if that would have no effect upon their child. And to me, that I think that's a very selfish outlook that Black Americans, particularly since we have this problem with single-parent households, specifically within mothers, but that's just across the board in America. But when you even look in Black America and you say, okay, the majority of kids growing up are in single mother-led households, and you don't see that as a problem, man, it's like I don't even know where to begin with understanding the other side of that point of view, because you're essentially stating that your child should not have the benefit of being able to learn from both of their progenitors, from both of their parents.
That was very disturbing, and we're gonna break down for some of y'all the audio. And I'm glad I have my brother here, SKC, and y'all can get it real time on what we heard. I don't want y'all to think this is a roast. This is not something, but this is a learning. This is a learning. This is a learning curve. We're gonna help some of y'all. And if you don't get help, then I don't know what to tell you. But this is a point of, at some point, we got to start drawing the line in the sand and start realizing that everybody can't be saved. We got to start snipping the umbilical cord, because you're trying to replenish the nutrients of something that isn't properly getting that. And when it comes to a mother and a child, or the Black man, or the Black community, or the Black people and the nigga, we haven't cut this umbilical cord. We're at the point where they'll tell you in the medical field that if we don't cut this cord, that mother's going to die. We can lose the patient. And it's a hard truth, because a lot of y'all don't, no, we can't do that. We can't cut for the nigga. Yes, you can. You can always have another child. You can always build a new. So let's go ahead and get into this.
Damn, that's why I jumped off. I'm like, damn, they can't even hear me.
This is time.
Well, I couldn't hear you before. This is my first time hearing.
Oh, well, man, I get what y'all saying, but the whole part of the throw the Black woman away part is where it just draw the line in the sand, because it just don't make too much sense to do that to me.
Which one? No.
And I feel like, since I can't take the black off my skin, no matter how I feel about the weakest link of the community, I'm gonna be viewed as that. Like,
pause. SKC, I'll let you take it from there. I cannot take the black off my skin, and no matter what, I will always be viewed as the weaker part of the community.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the tropes that is passed on to black men in particular, because I really don't see a lot of black women ever making that statement. Yeah. It's usually black men who have made bad decisions, who have some sort of background in this or that, or who are just otherwise coming from disadvantaged situations where the imprinting is put on their mind that no matter what you do, the rest of the world is only going to view you as a nigga. And I think what that does is it's almost like putting a shackle on the individual,
right,
and chaining them to an idea that cannot be proven. It's almost like saying no matter where you go in this entire world, even though you have never left the confines of your city, or sometimes even your neighborhood, that there's nothing out there for you to explore, because everybody is going to see you just as we see you right now. You're just a nigger. You're just going to have a hard time in life and so forth. Everybody else out there is out to kill you, even though the reality is that you're actually safer when you exit the community. And the way that they try to brainwash individuals into believing otherwise is by showing all of these reports of, oh, see, this police action happened. See, that's you. That's going to happen to you if you leave here. You see, this happened over here. That's you. And what they don't recognize is that, again, when you compare those instances against what actually happens in the hood, statistically, your life is much more safer outside of the hood than it ever will be inside of it.
If y'all ever heard of Stockholm syndrome, I feel like that's what I just heard. When somebody says they can never see themselves above a certain station. They can never see themselves anything but just as the lesser. And I wonder what type of stuff has this individual been put through to accept that type of insight. Mind you, there was no, like SKC was saying, there was no shackles on his feet. There was nothing hindering. There was no body that could come into his cabin or to where he's at and whip him or beat him or rape him or anything like that. Like, this brother is mentally capable of being able to do anything if he so choose. But because he was born as a certain pigment, he believes that he is already defeated. You heard it right there. Like, we didn't have to say this. This is what he already sees himself as. That because I am of a certain complexion, I already lost. I'm already damned. And it's hard. It's like, I'm not sure how many of y'all ever went swimming, but when a lifeguard comes out to save the person who is drowning, they quickly tell you, stop fighting, stop struggling, calm down, let me pull you ashore. If you fight them, this is an extreme case, sometimes the lifeguard will have to knock you out. Because you could kill them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and this is where we're at now, where it's better to listen. I gotta just leave this person. Either they're gonna let me drag them ashore and help them get their shit together, or if that's the case, I can't deal with it. No, it's not worth it.
And BMT, to follow what you're saying, when black folk do this to each other, when they limit what individuals can be in the greater society of the entire world, they actually feel as though they're helping other individuals, but they don't understand that they're actually stifling their growth, because what they're, I guess what they're, the subliminal message that they're putting in their mind is that you might as well break the rules. You might as well live however you see fit. You might as well live for today, not plan, not make long sacrifices and so forth, because no matter what, it can all be taken from you from this evil white man.
Right.
So you might as well not even try. And that's, I think, the danger of when you have individuals that perhaps are like, from any station or any background that have this nigga attitude.
Go ahead, bro.
In many ways, they're trying to justify to everyone else that the decisions that they made, whether it was selling drugs, robbing somebody, killing somebody, raping somebody, doing this or that it wasn't them. It was the circumstances that they were put in that forced their hand into doing such things. That they're really not a bad person, but it's the society that makes them do these things. And in a sense, them doing these things is actually virtuous, because they were fighting against the society that put them in the situation. Hence the warrior, the quote unquote warrior class of the, of the hood and so forth. But it's really a sick, twisted viewpoint, because when you take that mentality and you extrapolate it to the greater world, what good has ever came from the nigga mentality?
Nothing was ever been built or designed or brought up by this type of mentality.
Right. And that's what Game Changer was saying last night is, niggas haven't built anything. So why are we continuing to go after this line of reasoning as though, hey, sitting up, learning about all of the ills that happened from slavery on up till today, and then having this outlook of, I guess, just almost like a hatred and a fear of the greater society. How does that help you in life?
Let's go ahead and play the next portion.
How y'all was saying how stereotypes are real, that we all always be seen as that, no matter what. So all we can.
Okay, here's the thing. I think it's indicative of every black person, man and woman, to separate themselves from niggas. We have to loudly, proudly profess to the world that I am not with these niggas.
Yep.
In any facet of nigga action, we must separate ourselves, and that includes the women. Women want to jump into melee every time another black woman do some dumb nigga bitch shit, for the sake of solidarity. They shouldn't do that. They're hurting their reputation, and they're shoving off men like King Signal. That's what they're doing to themselves. We have to separate ourselves from our lowest common denominator. The only reason that the world sees us as the same is because we have this bond of brotherhood that's slowly waning.
No,
That we shouldn't have these niggas.
No, it's not.
No, it's not because of our skin. No, it's not because of our skin, because they don't treat Africans like niggas. They treat them like doctors and engineers because that's what they are.
Yep.
Okay. And they don't treat Indians like niggas, who share many of whom share the same skin color. It has nothing to do with skin color. It has something to do with ignorant ass niggas and people who won't say, I'm not with these ass pants simple niggas.
Well, you know what it is.
We have to say that shit.
You know what it is, Game Changer. See, Time Bandit. He's one of those brothers that, fortunately, he's living in a bubble. He sees the whole world from the standpoint of a black ADOS, right? He doesn't understand that even just in the continent of Africa, there's like 1.2, 1.3 billion black-skinned people. Now, when you take the other continents, do you understand there's like probably like, what, 3 billion black people on the earth? You got to get out of that bubble, bro. You're going by the fact that you're living in America. Look, the more research I do and the more comparison I do, the United States of America is the most dangerous, unsafe place for a black man on earth. Do you realize that?
Yeah.
So you talk, no one's throwing away black women. You must not have just heard me. Bro, I got IG DMs right now. a woman from LA just sent me a DM, right? And I said, I'm gonna go work out after this shit, because the DM she sent me, she's an Ethiopian woman. I mean, just so fucking fine, so slim thick that she'll just make you be like, I'm not fucking with no 8 hours. Yeah, so what I'm trying to tell you is that, man, you're in a bubble that's been programmed into you, but you got to start thinking outside of that bubble at this point, bro, because the same women that you're trying to protect, those same women slept with Jason Roger Pope, and he's just one of possibly millions of white men throughout their own groupings. Remember, everyone's been talking about Jason Roger Pope because he's like a little wigger, poor white dude type dude, but no one's talking about the fact that the everyday Waldo and the elite Chads, they have preferential treatment amongst the female counterpart that was assigned to you. So while you're already talking about caste, the black, no one's
but I feel what you're saying. But let me say this though.
So let's look into that. First off, we really do need to start drawing a fine line in blacks and niggas. I feel like we've been doing that for years. I feel like SKC could tell you that there's certain things as blacks we do not do or condone around our household, our family, around any type of affiliates, business, or anything like that, because we know that we have a certain level of standard that we have to upkeep, that we have to live by. We have to be accountable for. You can't just act any old type of way or just do any old type of foolishness, because these things have consequences. SKC is not going to just go out and start fighting and doing all kinds of stuff, but he understands that I have a family I have to take care of. I have a livelihood. I think I worked hard for. I'm not going to just throw it by the wayside. Same thing for me. Listen, man, anytime I wanted to get in a fight or I've seen somebody cut me off and I just say, you know what? I have more to lose than they do. Y'all gotta understand, man, like if black men, if we don't start drawing fine lines of who and what we want to be seen as, people will define you. This man already has allowed himself to be defined by certain statistics. Mind you, SKC, did you talk about any type of statistics on that panel last night?
Not at all. None of us brought up any statistics.
But he already had it indoctrinated. That's what King Sigma was saying. Like, you already are indoctrinated into a certain type of negativity. And this is why we strongly tell y'all, sometimes y'all need to look at the crowd and circles y'all hang around. Y'all need to look at what are they feeding to you and what are they telling you and what are they telling you to get involved with. Because I'm never going to hang with people that consider themselves inferior niggas, roaches, B1, all that crazy shit, pro-black, Hebrew tap. I don't hang with none of those type of motherfuckers. Listen. That pro-black shit is dead. That pro-black shit needs to die. I want you to understand. I don't know how SKC feels about it, but I do. But I can tell you right now, pro-blacks haven't done a goddamn thing as of late, will just fuck up the community.
The other day I was just reading a few of the old works that began this country. One, of course, the famous essay from um, Patrick Henry, the "Give me liberty or give me death" speech.
Right.
And it's just interesting to me in the second paragraph of the work, he says that it's natural for men to indulge in illusions of hope. We are apt to shut our eyes against the painful truth and listen to the song of that siren till she transforms us into beasts. And I just think that it's so fitting because the pro-black and then offshoots of that pseudo movement, like the B1 and Hoteps and all that stuff, they want to give people these illusions of hope as if what is happening in the community is just going to go away. It's just going to somehow self-correct and clean itself up. If only these evil white people would just leave us alone. And I really do think that they're causing people to shut their eyes to the painful truth that the worst enemy of black people is black people. We do it to ourselves. And one way that, like, take for instance this DJ Pope situation. DJ Kid, I'm sorry. I forget his full name, Pope, Roger Pope or whatnot. But one side wants to put emphasis on, okay, the children that got molested by this guy. Another portion is putting emphasis on the majority, which is the older women that he had contact with. Another group is saying, okay, but we have to sit back and understand that now we have a health crisis on our hands. And now my vantage point is okay, but let's say that the health individuals, they go in, they, with God's help, they go in, they find every victim, every person, they do their job completely and so forth. Job well done to a 100 percentile. Okay, that's fixed. Let's say the individuals that say, you know what, look at these women, these older women that he was dealing with, and the community says, okay, we're going to post all of their pictures on Facebook and we're going to call them out and so forth. Okay, that's fixed. And then let's say the other group says, you know what, we're going to get these kids the help that they need in order to help them to adjust to this situation of growing up with being molested or even possibly having a disease and so forth. Okay, let's say all three of those are fixed. Is that going to stop this from happening again? And we all know the answer. No. Because the causation of it all is the failure of the black family. Our culture is jacked up. Our culture is going to allow for worse things like this to occur if it already hasn't and we just don't know about it. How do you fix that?
Let's continue down the rabbit hole, brother. Let's continue down this rabbit hole.
What you think about that all these other cultures aren't going to accept you?
See, that's where you're
Where do
wrong.
you hear that? Where do y'all hear that at? Where do y'all get this from?
Yeah, where do you hear that,
Exactly.
man? He got this from his mom. He got this from his mom. Let me say sometime, Bandit. First off, you know what I've come to notice? See, I had that same issue you had when I was 16. I had fear of other cultures accepting me until I met a Pakistani girl in high school. And guess what I found?
I mean, like, they want to accept you as in, like, you're like the leader, like the head.
No, you're wrong about that, though. You know what?
Real quick, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. If you are a productive person, you're making moves. Let me. I don't listen. Me and SKC, we've been in and out of the community, the world, out of the U.S., the continent. Listen, productive people will come to you. They'll seek you out. They'll like you for who you are. You'll find your own crowd, your own niche. You don't have, like, when you've been doing it alone for so long, color does not matter to you. It doesn't. I'm being so dead ass, man. Some people, what y'all look at in National Geographic and books, I've been there real time and touched them. Things that y'all want to read about or hear about in mystery, I actually got to see. Things that are burnt down or gone, or things that said, well, we'll never get to see that history. I've already went there and saw them. In your Bibles, in your history books, in your school textbook, I went to go see them for myself. I've seen sultans, warlords, queens, duchesses, powerful men and women and individuals in different sites. I think there's only like 2 wonders of the world I haven't seen yet. But the thing about it was, I never let my color hinder me, and neither has SKC. This thing about y'all being told that you just a nigga, you'll never be able to go anywhere. Y'all need to, I tell y'all, man, sometimes y'all gotta learn when to let these niggas go. Let these talking points die. The fuck was the civil rights movement for? Y'all know when people got beat, lynched, raped, killed, threatened, harassed? Y'all make it seem like y'all in that time zone, in that time period. Motherfuckers that are like 23 years old buying whole houses. There are people who can sit at home and turn on their computer and make over $3,000 in 1 hour. Like, yeah, it's like the delusional, and SKC's laughing, but he knows it's true. Like, y'all don't understand, man. Listen, man. 2 little black girls literally took glue sticks, gutted them out, took butter, put them in the glue sticks, patented the idea, and made stick of butter. And now their idea is going to be making them money. Those girls are still in middle school, but they did that on their own. They said, it's always been hard for us to make toast, so we thought of doing this, and we did it. And our parents got behind us and supported us and patented the idea. Guess what? Don't be surprised if you see that in a grocery store. Oh, right. It actually is going into a grocery store. So miss me with this bullshit that because you are a nigga or nigger that you can't get nowhere in fucking life.
Hey, man. Now, I understand your frustration, BMT, and Game Changers last night. I fully understand it, man. And I'm not saying you all are not right to be frustrated. I just take a different approach. It's kind of like a whole thing of tug of war. And I understand you all pulling and, yelling and saying, man, no, we got to win this. And, y'all got to fall and such and such. My mindset is, you know what? Let go of the rope. You can have it, bruh. And I would have laughed the whole time while you falling. Because to me, I really do not feel as though struggling with Negroes at this point, it's not even worth it. It is not even worth it, man. Sure, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to fall by the wayside. They're going to choke on the destruction of their own design. So be it. That's what they want, man. They're fighting hard to have broken families. They're fighting hard to continue to have a quote unquote culture that is based off of over sexualization, drug usage, manipulating one another, and this whole mindset of things like game. You know, it's like, dude, relationships, you call having a working relationship with the opposite sex game? Really? So, I mean, it's like, let them have it, man. Throw the road down. Let it burn. But that's just my, my sick little morbid mind.
So we're at the portion where Game Changer said to Time Bandit.
A nigga built. I can name something that niggas destroyed. I can name a lot of things that niggas destroyed. Niggas don't build anything. All right? Niggas are a destructive force of everything.
So can I ask him a question? So let me talk to you, Tom.
So the thing about it is, y'all need to stop thinking that all black people built Tulsa, Oklahoma. All black people built Rosewood. All black people were there helping with Charleston and all. Like, listen, bro. Niggas were sitting there looking at y'all when we were doing the civil rights movement. Niggas were still sitting there looking at y'all when y'all were going to do into combat. Niggas weren't trying to be generals. Niggas weren't trying to doggone help build the college and all the other shit. Why do we keep on trying to put the nigga in the same spaces with the black innovators and black workers? Like, do y'all hear yourselves, man? When Frederick Douglass going to the nigga and say, "Hey, man, could you proofread this paper I got to read at the Great Debate tonight?" Huh? Was the boys going to the goddamn nigga and say, "Hey, man, I need to come up with, a theory so that way the Boule and us can figure out how to actually, get these loans from banks for our businesses." No black person goes to the nigga and saying, "Show me the way." No, nobody. Why are y'all still saying this shit? Even listen, bro. Even kids have enough common sense not to go to the idiot kid and say, "Hey, you want to be the leader of the classroom?" No, they go to the kid that actually is more charismatic and actually understands. Like, listen, man, got to take leadership. Got to step up. You don't go to the kid that's not doing that. I'm sorry, and that's just the way design of humanity. When you're lowering your standard, you say, "Well, white people did it too." Listen, man, white people nowadays. White people don't even have to talk to y'all anymore, but y'all destroy your own damn selves. Do y'all see white people trying to say, "Man, I wonder what the trailer park dude is doing"? No, they don't. They don't.
Well, King Sigma, I mean,
BMT.
a BMT. It's funny that you say that. I was looking at I was actually going to email this to King Sigma. I think that's why his name came to mind. But there was a study that I was going to forward to him and Kitigakure Jones, and it came across my desk. It was showing how there are a lot of Korean multi-national families, or multi-ethnic families that are in the United States, and they were looking at studies so far as how to improve their children's academic success. Interestingly enough, in that study, that there were 4 references to African American children. And check this out. Those 4 studies that were in there were not things to emulate, but lessons as to what to avoid. One study was talking about avoiding the trap of single parent households. Another one was talking about avoiding the trap of associating, letting your children associate with children of parents who are not pushing academic success.
Right.
Again, we're being looked at by other communities, other cultures, as a warning example of what not to do. Think about that.
Every day, bro. Every day. Every day. And I agree. I now understand why you say we just need to let go of the fucking rope. Just cut the goddamn umbilical cord. Have this goddamn abortion of fuckery and let it go, bro. Like, let's go on.
Time Bandit,
Yo.
do you have a record or like a felon on you?
Do I got a record? Yeah.
Okay. Do you have kids?
Yeah. I have one.
Okay, so you have kids, you have a record.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you ever like I get why you empathize with certain class.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay.
So you get what I'm saying?
Okay. No,
Like,
well, I
to
get
me-
why
to me,
I
that
get why
would
you
be like-
I get why no I get why you're saying what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? Because that would mean I had to give up on myself. Like, damn.
Well, I mean, I get, well,
Once you ask, and I feel like you got to start asking these people questions. I don't think he understood why we asked him the questions. You see, for my kids to go into STEM, you know, they do a background of the children and their academics and their certain rapport. Because you're not going to have the misguided children in a functional institute where kids are trying to learn science, technology, engineering, and math. You're not going to take the kid who don't give a fuck about education and put him in there. You're not. Because he's not going to give a fuck about that. We gotta learn to start asking these questions of people. Do you have a kid? Yeah. But you're talking like this. Do you have a record? Yeah. Did you not hear him when he got excited about those things? SKC? It was like he won a prize. It was like that was a bad, like, I don't understand. Y'all make it seem like having a kid and doggone getting a record is a badge of honor. Like you hit the jackpot. Like your credibility as a black person went up. Like, do y'all hear yourself sometimes? Like he was excited when I asked him, "You have a kid?" Yeah, but you're not married. You have a record? Yeah. So you're not married. You have a record. Like, bruh, those are things that count against your credibility. And y'all may not want to hear that shit, but y'all gotta understand, man. One, these things are weights. I'm being for real, man. I'm a parent. SKC's a parent. We have to think. We can't waste time. If we're not busy working, we're busy developing our time towards our family and our children. Saying that you're proud of being a nigga is not forward thinking. Saying that, hey, yeah, man, I'm a nigga and I'm like a roach, bro. You have kids. That's like we've been seeing women these days saying, yeah, I got kids, and I'm that bitch too. The fuck? So you proud to be a bitch and a thought, but you also proud to be a mother too. Do you hear your logic? You will never get self-respecting people to ever say or promote that type of ideology. You wouldn't. He is proud. Listen to how he's happy about it.
Let me ask you something. Are you a nigga? Are you a nigga?
That's what I was gonna get. Here's the thing about it.
I mean, the definition is if you saying like, having a record makes you a nigga,
No, I'm not
I
saying that
agree,
having
but
that record makes you a nigga. Can
we
you
just asked you a question.
can you fund? Oh, yeah, are you a nigga? By your definition of whatever that is, are you that?
a nigga, yeah.
Well, see,
Why?
that's the
You see what I'm saying, SKC? See what I'm saying?
I mean, that's just, you know, that's what I'm saying I don't even think it's a point of being frustrated, because you think about it. You go to a lot of different sections of YouTube
Right.
on the opposing side of this this debate, and there's a romanticization of being a nigga.
Yes.
So when you do that, you're accepted as real. You get, you know, unlimited swag points, only cashable within your local hood. But yeah, I mean, so that's the way to become a well-known individual within the confines of the community. Is to be a nigga, and you'll see that word thrown around, tossed around, and used often between each other as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
And then you will get stars on your imaginary nigga jacket by getting involved in crime and other irresponsible activity, such as having children, screwing a whole bunch of women, and all this other stuff. So it is what it is, you know. So,
Right.
but again, when you ask these people, okay, what positive has come out of this? There's no answer.
Right. It's I get why you say my frustration comes out of you're seeing people are praising this type of mindset versus somebody will say, I don't participate in that. I have self-respect. I have class. Oh, you want to be a white boy? No, just have respect for myself. I have some type of decorum or morality. Sound like a FAG to me. You talk like a white boy. Maybe I speak with vernacular English, and probably I read and stimulate my brain cells. Maybe I like to, actually do things that are not what y'all consider nigga moments. But we'll continue.
problem. Don't try to convince brothers, black people, black men to support your niggerdom. You're trying to disguise yourself as us to put us on your agenda, your pro nigga agenda. I'm not with you. Whatever the fuck you got going on,
But
and
this
your
the
nigga
thing,
existence is not my concern.
This is the thing, though. This is the thing. I understand, but why I consider myself a nigga is because of my skin.
That's not good.
Bro, you taking in so much negative programming that's put into you. That's so unfortunate that you would sit up here and consider yourself.
Let me say the reason why I ask you those questions, because you're only limited to what you limit yourself to. You understand me? Like, I asked you those not to put you down, but you destroyed your own self when y'all better understand when the first time he came on with me, Fantastic, SKC and Prophet. He called himself a roach. I think
he called himself a cockroach last
roach. The thing about it is, y'all gotta understand, man. A lot of these black people, let's compare it to HIV. When you know that you're infected with a certain type of mindset or ideology, some people will say, fuck it. I'd rather take down as many people as I can with me. Because I fucked up my life, I'm gonna tell my child, you ain't gonna be nothing but shit. You can't be nothing. Only thing y'all know what I'm saying? We've seen this before. Versus other blacks, we're like, no, that's not true. Like, I've traveled the world. I've done things. I've built myself. I'm self-made. None of us men on here, we call ourselves niggas. None of us think that we're less than or we're inferior.
Well,
I don't understand. SKT, do you call yourself a nigga around your children?
man, the only time that I ever hear that word is online. I mean, be honest with you, man. And I mean, it's been years since I have ever heard someone even refer to any, not only to myself, but to anybody that I know, as a nigga or whatnot. But I don't, I don't. My circle of friends to understand that that's ridiculous, But even in our family, that's just. Yeah, of course, we're a multicultural family, so it would obviously make sense that we wouldn't use any vernacular or terms that come from either culture that would be negative. So, yeah, that's just it's a sad state of affairs, man. It really is.
Sometimes I be picturing what does SKC family think if they ever heard these audios? Like what they.
Well, you notice, man, it's like I really only do YouTube panels and stuff when my children are gone, because first of all, it's like I don't, and I always keep my headphones on because I don't want them to hear a lot of the stuff that people say or whatnot. In the future, when they're more of age, probably like when they're in their early teenage years, we may get to some of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, right now in their developmental years, they don't need to be listening to stuff like that. They don't even need to know it exists.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing about it, because a lot of people, when it comes to this ADOS thing and niggas, and this is the reason, and the thing about it is the way how he pictured that because I'm black, I'm just like you niggas. Well, no, you blacks are just like us niggas. We're all the same. Mind you, they have an AIDS crisis thing going on. You don't hear ADOS talking about it. You don't hear ADOS head honcho HQ talking about that.
Of course not.
You don't hear them talking about the issues going on with the school system and all the other things. Like, no, it somehow you're more worried about reparation. But I got a question. Like, y'all got a bigger problem right here in front of y'all. These niggas right here ain't going nowhere. If anything, they waited. Listen, they're out reproducing a lot of y'all. See, black people who are functioning and doing things with their life are more so actually, being conservative with our bodies, actually getting jobs, school, working on self-improvement, working on our lines of credit. You don't got time to be, hey, I'm trying to be the next nigga. Like, I want that badge of honor. Like, no. This is not Ninja Gaiden. You don't get 2,500 points for every fuck up in life. I agree with Game Changer. Like, yo, man, like, I'm not trying to associate with you. I'm not trying to, like, dap you up. No. Y'all, we really need to stop. And you see, the thing about it is there's people that will shame you because you will say, I don't fuck with you. I ain't nothing like y'all. I got nothing to do with you. And y'all will have a problem with that person. Y'all will try to shame that person, say, who do you think you are? You ain't nothing. You just, it's like the person that saved their money up. There's an old film I bought where a black man bought a buggy and a horse for him and his family. He felt so proud of it. And they were riding in that. And a group of black people were walking around dirty and dingy. And they started to ridicule and humiliate them. I wish I could find that goddamn clip. And they started ridiculing them, SKC. They started talking about them like, oh, who y'all think y'all are? Y'all think y'all like the white man. Y'all think y'all all high and sedity. They started shaming them. Him and his family on the cart. Started talking about them. Like he was supposed to be ashamed of his success of working hard, saving up his money, buying a buggy and a horse, so that way they don't have to walk. So you know what happened next Sunday? They were walking with the niggas. And you know what the niggas said to them, SKC?
What was that?
Well, look at you. You got a whole horse and buggy. You so dumb. Why you walking right down here? Shit, if I was you, I would be riding on that damn buggy. And he looked at them. And his wife said, you a whole fool. You listen to people who are on the ground in the dirt. When you worked hard to provide and you walk in with them now, and they still ridicule you. Y'all can do everything y'all want and lower yourself down to the nigga level. They still will be niggas. But all you did was just get dirty with them. And then they will still say, well, if I had your position, I wouldn't be with you niggas.
You know, BMT, there's I plan my videos out, which is why it takes me a little while to, to drop them on Black Avenger. And plus, I'm not a everyday content creator. I'm kind of following the model of like a David Carroll.
Right.
But there's a film clip that I'm using. It's out of what's the name of that film with Matt Damon? Man, I can't think of it. But it's with him and well, anyway, he's this genius kid, right? And there's a portion where his good friend that he grows up with asks him, "Hey, are you going to take this position that the CIA is offering you?" Because they saw that he was very gifted. And he said, nah, I'm gonna pass on it, man. I'm gonna stick here in the neighborhood with you guys. Now they're on the south side of Boston, very poor, delinquent part of town and so forth. And he has this whole thing planned out in his mind of, hey, we're gonna be together. We're gonna be watching the Patriots games together. Your kid's gonna be playing with my kids and so forth. And his friend looks over at him and he says, man, if you do that, I'll kick your ass myself. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? And he said, yeah, if you're still here in 20 years hanging around us, I'll beat the shit out of you. And he says, you have a gift and you should use it. Any one of us would want to have what you have. And you would be spitting and pissing on us by hanging around us and not using your gift. Now, that's a good friend. A good friend tells others to use and improve themselves, even if it means that they're going to leave. But what do niggas do? Niggas want you to stay. Niggas want you to remain just where they're at. Niggas hate seeing other people leave the community. I just find it very odd that a lot of these other people, they will say, oh man, the evil white man and such and such and such and such. And yet, check out this little movie. And this dude is telling his friend, nah, man, you're better than that. You need to move on and go to other places that we can't go. And it would be disrespectful to us if you were not to use your talents in that way. I plan to use that kind of like as to show the difference between, what the nigga class, as Game Changer says, does in our communities versus other people. And I'm not saying that it's perfect on the other side in these other cultures or whatnot, but I think that it is very telling that we don't have a lot of individuals that are willing to push our best and brightest forward and to look at them with appreciation. Instead, our best and brightest get ostracized. They get called white. They get called coons.
Yep, we sure enough do. And I'm pretty sure everyone, especially in the chat, everyone who's going to hear this video, I'm like I said, man, I never had an Asian tell me I'm trying to be a white boy. I don't think everybody ever said that to you. I never had a white man tell me that, try to be a white man. I've never had any other race but my own tell me, you think you white. And I said, what? Yeah, the way you acting or the way you talking or your narrative, you think you're a white boy. And I said, well, weren't you just raising the fist saying that you black and you proud? Wouldn't that go against your narrative that I am just proud of who I am as an individual and I literally am striving for excellence? Nah, man, you a white boy. So what the fuck are you? You literally just quoted a whole goddamn Marcus Garvey goddamn speech. You know all about the ancient texts of Kemet and all that crazy shit. But then you gonna tell me, because I chose to look into other aspects of knowledge that I can use?
Well, here's a question, BMT, and maybe the panel can, the chat can answer it. I don't know the answer to it, but to the individuals that hold of the standard of, we real niggas and so forth and all that. Okay, well, what is the definition of black excellence to the community?
Shit,
what is it?
Babies, a record. Prophet goes over it and he said, listen, niggas, listen, bro, that shit's no snitching, but you fucking up shit. Raping, pillaging, bastard children. That's always up there. Government financial aid, all everything.
And I understand we can be, facetious with the terminology and the word and so forth, but I really do want to know, what do pro blacks and like the B1 crowd, what do they aspire to? What is excellence? What would be the designation as an excellent pro black or an excellent bleed one person? What is it?
No, better yet, could they show us someone of black excellence? Because I mean, if somebody had followed the mantra, surely they could show it before me and you of somebody. I mean, is it their LeBron? Is it one of their rappers? Is it somebody on their panels or anything? Who is it? Is it their Cynthia G? Huh? I mean,
I really do want to know, man. Like, if at all possible, and I kind of challenge anyone in the chat as well. And I'm not making fun or anything. I really just want to know, if pro blacks or the B1 crowd could erect a statue to somebody, who would it be?
Man,
who are these?
Who could they? Who literally could they actually put up there for that kind of mantra? Y'all, while we go over this, let me please, if you have a candidate, please put your candidate up so that way me and SKC can look at the model candidate of who is the greatest pro-black that y'all have. We will surely like to see. Let us hear the dialogue that I feel is very monumental of Prophet trying to understand the mindset of the nigga.
what I'm gonna do.
Prophet, you need to talk to that young
This is
man.
what I'm gonna do for this show.
No,
fella. I'm gonna drop.
He
I'm gonna drop.
refuses to follow.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm gonna drop everybody down, and I got freaking AJ in the back room too. So I'm gonna drop everybody down. I'm gonna bring this young fella up. Now I'm gonna talk to him, give him something to think about. Then he's gonna get his young ass
Talk
off
to him,
here.
Prophet. Save that
Because
boy.
I'm gonna bring my man up here. All right. So I'm gonna drop.
Hey, thank you for having me.
He said you- Yeah, AJ,
Well, thank you for coming, Dr. Tina.
Yeah, we let this one go.
Oh, Doc, you gotta go. Well, you got some parting shots before you go, Doc.
I mean, I think everything's been covered here. I mean, again, I think what's been discussed is very true. I hate to hear the young brother talk that way. You know, I guess my question to him is, have you ever dreamed of doing anything other than what you're at now?
No, niggas don't dream.
I mean, do you like your life the way it is now? I mean, if you work if you've never really thought about those are questions that he really needs to think about. But again, you know,
thought about it, Dr. Phoenix, because the fact that he's here, that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he's
No,
here,
it's not.
I
Because
think
he's here.
we can help him.
No, it's why he's here, Sigma. He's here to steer us in the path of negative. He's not here searching for enlightenment.
Game changer does not like niggas, y'all.
No. See, here's the thing. That's why we gotta shun niggas. That's why niggas need to be shunned in all ages, because we were having a conversation that moved. No, we were having conversations that moved black men forward. Now we gotta stop and we gotta pause and waste time and resources to help this non-directional nigga.
Well,
And
I just want to talk to him for 5
Yeah,
minutes.
game changer, right?
The black community
minutes.
wastes time and resources on niggas that they should be given to black people. If I have the money, I will give a young black man a scholarship before I bail a nigga out of jail. That is how we have to prioritize ourselves. We have to stop giving these niggas.
Well, I just want to give him 5 minutes, and I'm gonna bring everybody else back up.
Conversation to help black people. God damn it.
Don't go anywhere. Nobody goes anywhere. Stay here. Everybody stay here.
Okay, I'll spend a few more minutes.
Don't go anywhere. None of you.
Okay.
All right, Ed.
I need you here. Do not go.
Okay.
Do not leave. 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 All right, young fella, I'm gonna bring you up. It's me.
I'm back up.
Yep. And I'm gonna turn my camera on because you need to see my goddamn face. Now.
Can I finish
what
I was saying before you get to the question?
Go ahead.
What I was trying to say is the way I look at community is my son, his children, and his children. And hopefully, if I can live long enough that I will see my grandchildren's children, then I will be able to look back at the community that I built. That's why I say like it's kind of dumb. I don't want to say dumb because I understand what they're trying to say. All right, let go of all the things that we look at that's bad. We need to let that go. And I get that. But when you saying it, like some people don't, we look at community like, as our future generations. We're not looking at self. We're not thinking about, what I can do while I'm here on this earth. Like we know we got to get shit done, but I look at it like I'm trying to get it done for my grandkids. I want to be, when I'm 80, I want to look back and sit around and see family. You feel me? Because, like you said, you don't get that a lot in foster care. So that's the goal for me. You get what I'm saying? Or you can continue with your question.
Yeah, well, I mean, you say you want to get it right? And I don't know what it's like to grow up in the foster care system. I have no idea. I've known people who it has happened to, and I can only imagine, what that is for you and what that was for you growing up. But that being said, you just finished saying that you wanted to make things right, for your children and grandchildren. How do you go about doing that when you already consider yourself a quote unquote nigger? You've already limited yourself. You the same brother who was on here the other week and called yourself a cockroach. I mean, do you have such a low opinion of yourself that you will label yourself like that? Now, I know you may be speaking collectively. You may be speaking about us collectively. I don't know. But for you to say that you are just a nigga, you have already limited yourself. You have already put yourself in a box. You have already limited your possibilities. You've already limited your socioeconomic status. You've already limited your amount of thinking, learning, growing, building. You have limited all of that stuff by labeling yourself a cockroach or a nigga, because what that tells me is that you have already decided that you can go no further, that you can do no more, that you,
SKC, anything you want to say about what Prophet just said or what the Time Bandit just said?
Man, it's like it's not a lot to continue to go on, man. You know, people that degrade themselves and don't have a high opinion of their abilities. Again, I think that has a lot to say about our community, as it could be stated, and its inability to create confidence, particularly in young men. You have a lot of outreach programs for young women, Black Girls Rock, Black Girl Magic, all sorts of statistics that come out. You know, Black women are the most educated, even though we know that's not true. But and then all of the different programs that push Black women to the to achieve more. And I'm not saying that Black women don't have it hard. They do. They do. They have a unique set of challenges as well. But Black men do not, and boys do not have the same amount of push in the community to become successful. And there's actually other Black men that attempt to hold Black boys back from growing outside of what they know. They push a lot of fear mongering when it comes to going out and learning from different communities, learning from different cultures. A lot of, just to give you an example, a lot of things, a lot of negativity has been pushed on brothers saying travel, get your passport, so forth. Now, I know, well, I've seen a lot of mad bus driver stuff. I've talked to Kitty Gakade Jones on a lot of occasions. He's a family man as well. And when we talk, a lot of the things that we discuss when it comes to traveling, it doesn't have anything to do with women at all. A lot of things that we have to discuss has to do with learning different cultures, seeing different things that work within relationships, networks, family, business, seeing how those things affect the American economy and its future. So if you're not allowing young Black men to understand their place in the entire world and how the rest of the world actually operates and functions, you're literally cutting off the wings of the bird before it even knows that it can fly. To me, that's sick.
I think one of the things about it, before I just turn it back on, is I have my wife listening to what the young man was saying, and she was kind of disturbed, because it's kind of disheartening, because me and SKC, we understand that one day we will get old, and that I guess everybody doesn't grow up the same. We understand that we're realistic. This is a realistic day and age. Everybody doesn't grow up the same. Everybody doesn't have the same experiences. Y'all know about what I went through as a young man, and I still chose to fight. I still chose to define myself as a man. SKC, he told me about he grew up in some rough areas, and he chose not to take part in the buffoonery. Is that correct, SKC?
Oh man. Man, I went to predominantly white schools here in Houston, and I mean for elementary school, I mean one of the best in this, if not the best in the city.
You never
But
dreamed
it was,
to be a nigga?
huh?
You never dreamed to want to be a nigga?
It's odd that you say that, man, because my mom, she worked in the school district here in Houston. So she didn't want me to go to certain schools due to um, niggerdom. So, um, I had to travel across town to go to these different schools or whatnot, in predominantly white neighborhoods and predominantly white schools or whatnot. And I'm telling you, man, all those things they were cool, but when I got back to the neighborhood, that's when the things will pop off, man. Because it's like you see this young kid, he got his private school attire on, jacket and slacks, and sometimes the short set and everything. And man, I remember tons of times getting chased home, man. I remember times getting dog sick on me. When I was going to my grandmother's house in Fifth Ward, a dude came out and pulled a gun on me when I was 10, man.
Those white people did all that to you?
Hey, man, it was a straight nigga, man.
Girl!
Pulled a gun out on me, revolver, put it to my head, told me, give me your jacket. I gave him my jacket, then he looked at it and he said, I don't want this sorry shit, and threw it on the ground and took off.
Wow.
Because it was like from a private school. It's like, where are you gonna wear that at, man? So yeah, man, it's just crazy junk like that, man. Happened all through my childhood. But again, these were just hood memories, man. It didn't happen in the other places where I was at, but um it didn't have and it wasn't the whole thing of oh man, now I'm scared of black people. No, there was a lot of good memories. I remember going to hanging out at the park and doing this and that and so forth. But it was just interesting to me that whenever a lot of black people in the hood would see something different, the immediate response was, oh, you think you're better than us, or oh, you trying to act this way, or you a white boy, or you're not real, and this so forth. And as a kid, I was really quiet, man. I didn't talk a lot. I was really into just reading, whether it was just work or comic books and all that type of junk. So no one could have ever came up with the whole idea that I thought I was better than anyone, because I really didn't. I wasn't that social. So yeah, man, it's one of those things, man. But we all got hood stories, though, right?
Yeah, like I said, man. I mean, let's finish up on this on a good note. This, like, I mean, honestly, I could literally take this and make this a 5-part series and study this. This is y'all. Do y'all not know that there are people in colleges that literally study these type of dialogue psychologically? This is how they know what to market towards you. This is how they know how to study. This is how they know how to deal with you. Police look at these audios of how people see themselves. These are work case studies. They look how the person talks, their demeanor, their outlook. the reach on how they see themselves. When I was in the military and we did interrogations, I could tell a lot about you, how you say your name, how you spoke about your kids, tell about your life. People learn these type of things from the vocation of your voice to the pitches, everything.
You can get no higher than the people that we often talk about here. Because let me explain something to you, young fella. You often hear people on these airways talk, right? And when people are talking about the niggas, and I know that people think that we all niggas, but I think that that's BS. I don't believe that. I don't believe that we're all these niggas, all right? I believe the niggas are the people in this society who just do a bunch of crazy fuck nigga shit. And they ain't all necessarily black, because I've seen white ones, I've seen Asians ones, I've seen Latino ones. So they ain't all black. But the black ones is what fuck up things for black people. And I don't want you, young man, because I have sons, all right? I have sons older than you. And the last thing I would be sitting down willing to hear from my boys is them calling themselves, I'm just a nigga. I'm just a nigga. That's the last thing I would want my sons to say. That's the last thing I would want to hear from any young man, okay? And you say you're a father. If you being a father are a leader of a tribe, whatever you fear, they fear. Whatever you label yourself, they have a tendency to label themselves. However you limit yourself, they have a tendency to limit themselves. So when I hear a young man who says he has a child and he will get up here on a public platform and say, oh, I'm just a nigga, I'm just a cockroach, I feel for you, brother. And I don't just feel for you. I feel for that little one, man, that you're raising. Because it's hard for me to believe people can separate their mentality from their parenting.
Well, I'm gonna have to do a whole show off of that. What this prophet just said. Shit. But what he says is true. I don't speak down on myself. I speak very highly of myself. And because I have so much pride in myself and the things that I do, in my culture, in my heritage, in things that I've done in my life. Y'all know when I used to put on my military uniform back when I was still in the service, my kids used to wake up and salute me. My sons used to just salute me. Because they knew that daddy took pride in his work.
Well, I have a question, BMT.
Go ahead, brother.
If an individual says that they're just a nigga, and I think in another section, he stated, well, how does any of this work for individuals that have already messed up? You know, they already have a record. They already have children, you know, so forth. So what do you think is going on in the mind of individuals like himself so far as hope?
I think that he's already self-defeated. And when I say that is that though he's hit stumbling blocks, he went back to the same old type of crowd or people that are in the same muck like him.
Right,
you know?
because that's where he feels accepted.
Right.
Because the barrier of what is acceptable is at its very lowest.
Right. There you go.
So you can pretty much do anything you want while you hang out with us, when we're not aspiring to pretty much anything. We're just on this struggle, man. And you know, as long as you don't do some particular things, like, hey, as long as you don't fight with me or different things, you're good here. But if he was to try to move to a different strata of people, then he has to feel the burden of, okay, I can't move in this particular way. I have to have these type of responsibilities. Not being gainfully employed or not having a regular income, not having standards of how I'm going to comport myself, dress, grooming, hygiene, all of that stuff, not being involved in certain criminal activities. All of that creates barriers that I don't think a lot of people in those situations want to, they don't want to meet those standards.
I so agree. And the thing about it that I would want to say is that for the fact that one, that listen, the minute if this brother were to, if he were to one, move out of that area, that community, clean himself up, go get a stable job, they will shun him. Some of them might even become jealous or not accepting of him because he would be outdoing them.
Right. He will put them to shame.
Right. And, you know,
I mean, you think about that, BMT. That's why a lot of the terminology, a lot of the phrases, a lot of the rhetoric that they put on each other. We need to sit around on this stoop and we need to talk about all of the ills of this evil, evil country and the evil, evil white man, because that substantiates why we're stuck in this situation and why it doesn't even make sense for us to raise our standards and do something different.
mm-hmm.
It makes sense for us to call each other niggas and so forth, because no matter what we do, no matter how we, whatever everybody else is trying to say, so far as all these other things you could do out in the world, that doesn't apply to us because we know the truth that the world only sees us as we are right now, niggas. And this is the only place we can truly be ourselves and be accepted. Well, it's not about that. It's actually just about you being lawless and standardless.
That is so true, brother. And the thing about it is, I want you to understand that for brothers like me and you, and we have to walk a certain type of. It's harder to walk our path than walk the path of a nigga. I don't know why niggas think that their life is so hard versus what we do. It would be so easy for me to go without being responsible. It would be so easy for me to go without responsibility of not taking care of my family, if I didn't go pick up my kids, if I doggone shunned off paying my bills, if I just was very loose with myself and just brought home all kind of crazy shit to my family. Sold drug, like, listen, man. I've watched and seen houses. I've watched dudes who drive nice fancy cars and all that good shit get pulled over with their kid in there.
That's a bad look. And get them bracelets put on them, huh?
Right there in front of their child.
Man, that's a horrible look.
Trying to call up the mother. And guess what they're gonna do? Gotta take the baby. Girl out of the apartment. She can't stay in the apartment because I guess what, the apartment gotta get searched now. Kid has to go to child services. But you made the come up. You somebody. I've seen girls who talk about their fast life. I'm getting paid. I'm making fucking money.
constantly having to spread their legs for any old nigga. But then late at night when they laying down, or we'll see them on Facebook, social media, only person who loves me is myself. Only person who care about me is myself. Why won't some man just hold me, tell me, well, shit, you done opened your coochie for the goddamn universe. I mean, goddamn woman, what the fuck you want us to do? No man wants to share his woman with the fucking community. Ain't no man want to have to look over his back every time he drives and say, damn, this is going to be the day that the police get me. And y'all be trying to spit these narratives that every time you come, hey, man, you got to be careful, man. But anytime you go out there, those cops can get you. Bro, do you think like that, SKC?
Man, you know, it's just I don't get it, man. That's why I tell you, man. I let go of the rope long time ago. Long time ago.
You got to pick back up the rope.
Nah, I'm never picking.
You got to pick back up the rope, man.
That's what I'm saying now, man. You know, that's why I take on the whole coon moniker. Because like, yeah, okay, if that is what the lowest of the low say, I'm a coon and so forth. Okay, that's what I am. That's exactly what I am, and I want to hold to that to the ultimate degree. So yeah, I mean, it's not I understand when other people get frustrated and they want to get mad at, you know, the Pookie and Ray Ray and Bonquisha and all that stuff. Man, at this point, and this gonna sound bad, VNT.
Oh, shit.
At this point, fire it up some more. I want to see more Bonquishas. I want to see more Pookie and Ray Ray-ness. I want to see niggas tearing up stuff. When Kid Organic does his videos in the morning sometimes, and we got new nigga junk coming out, I'm like, oh, okay, let me look at what the last.
I be hoping some days he don't find no more shit.
No,
I'm like, goddamn, where do you be finding this shit, man?
It's gonna continue. Tommy Sotomayor, it's gonna continue. Obsidian, it's gonna continue. It's never gonna end. And I want it to keep coming. I want it to increase. Because it's not gonna be until everything is just when it becomes blatantly obvious to the niggas that, oh man, this is out of hand. That's when everything is gonna be, you know, I think that is just gonna be the moment of ultimate laughter when they start saying, okay, it's too much now. But right now, they would just want to pass over it and act like it doesn't exist. The DJ Kid situation is a perfect example of that. No. We don't need to focus in on what's going on in our community that actually allowed this. No, we need to look at this one white man and what he did and see how the greater society needs to take this man down and so forth. Okay, good and dandy. I understand. But after DJ Pope is put in prison and he gets locked away and so forth, I guarantee you there's going to be a whole bunch of other white dudes out there that are probably doing the same thing. And it's not just them being able to do it. They did it in your quote unquote culture box of rap, which niggas on the block say, oh man, I got my new CD coming out. I'm in the rap game and all this. So you supposed to be part of the hardest of the hard, right? Talking about all the stuff that you done in the streets and such and such and such. But let that dude come in there and be able to do whatever he wanted to your sisters, to your aunts, to your mothers, to your daughters. Pookie and Ray Ray co-signed that. Not the thinking educated black dudes. Because the thinking educated black dudes weren't at those concerts. They didn't care about none of that nigga bounce shit. That was on their watch.
That is so true, man. I mean, we've seen the pictures, man, and that was all the hardest of the hard, all the goddamn Amazing goddamn super Negro.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny to me that they will call out this white dude and say, "See, this is what white people are," and all this other stuff.
They don't say
Okay, okay, but what about all of the big name rappers that he took pictures with? They didn't know anything. They didn't see none of the social media stuff that he was putting out.
Hell, the people at the colleges, the people at the club, the night promoters, all those damn pro-black and crazy shit. I mean, he went to everywhere where you niggas go.
Yeah, I mean, all of the pro-black dudes that can sit up and talk about, oh man, like I've seen where there's been these B1 pro-black dudes that will have panels, and they'll sit up all night long and talk about all the different differences between this rapper and this rapper and this dude and who was the best and all of this other stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. This dude was right in league with all of them, from the greatest to the bottom. That's y'all watch, man. Obsidian don't have shows about who's the greatest rapper. O'Shea don't have shows about that I know of, that I've ever seen, about, oh, we're gonna sit up and rate the life of Tupac and all this other stuff.
Hell no.
I haven't seen Tommy Sotomayor having a show about we're gonna talk about Future and all these type of dudes. I don't see that. Nope. I never seen Game Changer or Mr. Fantastic or yourself, King Sigma, the Black Brain Trust have heated conversations about the goings-ons of what happened back in the past with Death Row Records and so forth.
Fuck no. Fuck?
No.
I had to call
someone. That's all on the other side of the tracks. But yet, this white dude was able to come inside your camp and do whatever the hell he wanted with the women that you hold so dear.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. To wrap it up, let us hear from the word of somebody who said that, listen, you can get your shit together. Mr. AJ seeing red.
Context in which Prophet runs his channel. If you've listened to the Prophet since I've known Prophet over the last year, this falls into the net of what he's about. Now on your channel, you're in a different lane. You're in this fast lane, so you're not going to pull over to the right lane to go slower. You're like, get out the fast lane or run off the road. But you know, in the environment that you're in.
Let me chime in. What's up to the panel?
Hey, what up,
what's up to you guys in the chat? Game Changer, I disagree. I mean, I look at it this way. You got a lot of brothers too that's going to look at this, that's on the fences, and they look at like dudes like him, and I don't got no problems with what he said or what he's talking about. But basically, they're going to learn from that, and they're going to make a decision to not be a nigga, because they go listen to what the fuck he just said and be like, this ain't the way I want to go. Now, Time Bandit, I didn't want to basically, I'm not trying to throw you off a bridge, but it is what it is, and I'm going to keep it real with you, brother. Because see, me, I have a record also. You know, I have like a lengthy record too, but I changed my fucking life around, man. And I said this a lot. You know, I'm very transparent. I've been on some of these people panels and said this shit. So there's no excuses. But the more I was listening to you, it sounded like you was going off basically as a stereotype, that what people think of you, you know, and I felt like that was bullshit. But I get it, you know, because I was once you too. You know, I felt that way, that thug life shit. I couldn't be shit. I was in the streets. And like I said, and I'm from Chicago, I still go to them streets. But, you know, I go there with a different mind state. I changed my life around, and I try to go out there and change other brothers' life around. But when you sit there and you were saying the shit that you were saying, all you was making was excuses. And that's going basically to what this panel is about. It's no accountability, you know? And that's what I was getting from you, that you don't have no accountability. And that's what niggas are. They don't have no accountability, just like these fucking broads in these communities. It's the same shit. And what ends up happening? Destruction. So, you know, I'm like, come on, man. That's bullshit. But Game Changer, no. Because there's some brothers that's going to listen to this and say, man, I don't want to be like, fuck that shit. I don't want to be like them. I don't want to have that mindset.
Let me go ahead.
True. However, if we continue to spend resources on that, we're setting a bad precedent because some brothers just want the time, resources, and computing.
Hold up, BMT.
Resources and energy.
Yes, sir.
Man, I just got a message that came in, and I know we just had this conversation last night. You know, on TPOT's joint, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know who came up in the chat, right? Taunting, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know this Negro this Negro went and got into a oh my goodness. This Negro went up and got into a battle with Tommy Sotomayor. And from what I'm hearing, Tommy Sotomayor roasted this dude.
Oh, you gotta send me that.
Yo, man, Mr. Fantastic just sent me a thing. He said he's about to go live on this junk about this dude getting toasted by Tommy Sotomayor, man.
You gotta understand, man, like, shout out to Fantastic. He called it. He said, listen, we gotta say he knows Saddam's this shit. He Negro Damas this. Y'all don't understand, man. Like, a lot of us black men are starting to wake up and literally, well, we already been awake, but now we actually are coalitioning together. Like, we literally are talking, networking, and saying, like, yo, like, no more. We're done. You can't sit with us. You can't harbor with us. So your spaces are going to get smaller. Your commune with certain people is not gonna last. See, we're known for the works that we do. I mean, y'all can say that y'all, but I'm trying to let you know, man. Like, I already know, like, if SKC said, yo, BMT, I want to do content, and he has done that. He said, all right, say when. Because the Fantastic can do that. We know we can call upon each other in our fold because we already know that like-minded people stick together. That's why Game Changer said, listen, we're not with you niggas. We're not. We're done. We drew our line in the sand. And this has been consistent time after time after time. Like, how many panels have we been doing back to back together? Like almost every other day, right?
Man, it's been crazy. It's been crazy, man. This is nuts. I think
Tommy's in on it. Oh, listen, bro.
I think Mr. Fantastic hit it dead on the nail, dude. That this dude is just looking for views and relevancy because, what's the point? This dude has never, ever in his life tried to do anything to stir the pot with Tommy Sotomayor.
Right. Yeah,
and I think the only reason he's doing it is because when we had this thing last night and we said, you know what, people that use this term of, you know, pedo and all this other stuff, we're going to turn our backs on them and we're not going to allow them in.
You never know.
So in order to get back into the thing of being relevant, he went to the biggest name in Black YouTube and tried
to you should have, boy. Yeah. No, not Tommy.
Yes.
Because once Tommy starts going at you, bro,
this dude from the very jump, he has never tried to state or do anything with no Tommy Sotomayor. And now all of a sudden, when all of us came to an agreement of saying, you know what? Nah, you're out. We're not doing any panels with you. We're not talking with you. We're not looking at your junk. Now, this dude wants to turn to having a beef with Tommy Sotomayor. Oh man, you know what this is about.
Yeah,
this is about clicks and views, man.
Y'all don't understand, man. Like that's the thing about it. Like y'all don't know that us brothers, we do talk. Us black men, us content creators, us writers, producers, our network, I can at least, bow my head that we have a morale code of certain things we don't do or say, or certain limits that we don't go to. We literally went over the whole Magna Carta right there on the TPOT. Neutral ground. Neutral ground. And me and Prophet try to stay very neutral. And even in like I said, it's done. It's over. It's over, man. Like you can have whatever shit y'all got going on, do whatever y'all do, but we're gonna keep on producing, creating. Now that you when you start throwing the glove, and I mean I'm just saying I don't know what's going on through some people's minds, but when you're trying to throw the gloves with Tommy, you gotta understand a lot of black YouTube has been built around just him. Once you wage that type of fucking war, good luck, buddy. Because you're gonna have to stand your own ground. And I want you to understand, a lot of black women go to Tommy. They go to him.
Yo, bro, man. We gotta cut short, man, because
let's cut this shit.
Whatchamacallit is calling for us to come over, man.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. Let me just showcase my brother's channel. I already know this is already a council meeting. This is a council meeting. Listen, so if y'all want more fresh content from my brother, Supreme King Coon, join us here on Black Avenger. Now, I'm gonna let you know right now, this is not for the week.
I appreciate it, BMT, man.
But go over there, support my brother. We would like to see him get over 37 subscribers. Help him get to 50. Let's see if we can help him get to 50. If you're watching this, go over there, subscribe to the brother, help him get to 50. Also, if you want to catch us some more, you can also join us on the Prophet of Thought, my brother Prophet, Brother X. He makes and drops amazing content here on the TPOT series, where we also do Black Exodus. I love Prophet. Man, me and him are ride to the day we die, man. Till the tires fall off. So we'll see you guys later. We're going over to see Fantastic and chill with him and talk on this. We'll see you brothers later. Peace. And I was going to say open your mind, but that's Prophet's mantra. But I'll see you guys later.